So before we talk about like how to use it and what it's particularly good for, as it seems, let's just quickly summarize how it works. So portal is down back 2. It summons a portal pretty quick, and it takes only 60 frames total to put this on the screen. There's a few situations where you can summon it like in a combo, like if you hit them with a whirlpool in a combo like this. I can summon a portal as I do the combo, just to have one on the screen. So when I have a portal on the screen, then you have a new input which is down forward 2, and then you will teleport into the portal. So common misconception is that you need to have 2 portals on the screen in order to teleport. And that actually is not the case, and it can actually make it more confusing. So all you need to do is place one portal on the screen, and then wherever you are, in the sky or the ground, the other side of the screen, you'll be able to teleport to that portal as long as it's on the screen. And let's just quickly take a moment here to see how long they stay on the screen. Quite a while, and they stay there if you get hit as well. So you don't have to be too worried or frenetic that if you get hit or if as you're being comboed, oh no, my portal is going to disappear and I don't get to use it. Don't worry, it'll stay there for a while. And luckily the input down forward 2 doesn't do anything on its own. So if there isn't a portal on the screen and you do, like, you go to do the input for it, and then as you do it you realize, oh, it's not actually on the screen anymore. I do down forward 2 and nothing actually happens, or in that case it was actually still there. But you don't have to worry about doing the input, you'll just get, you know, forward 2 or standing 2 or whatever. So that's the portal, that's how you teleport to the portal, and there's another layer to it as well. If you have 2 portals on the screen, your down forward 2, if you meter burn it, becomes this weird conflux move. Kind of like a Raiden variation in MKX. That makes a beam in between the 2 portals, and the opponent gets hit by it. This itself doesn't seem like it is particularly useful. It's a bit more of a gotcha move, because it is kind of cool how it's like a 12 frame, potentially entire screen mid-projectile. So maybe at the end of a game there can be situations where it's like, bam, got him, and there's a hype tournament moment, but I think generally it's not something you'll use too much, because as you can see, it's not even like you can easily get combos off of it. You need to like dash up and do a down 2 or something. It's not like it leads to some, haha, I got this, so I get a big reward now. It's just a little pop-up mid-projectile. And also when you have 2 on the screen, your down forward 2 always teleports you to the newest one. So the one I just placed, see I just placed one back there, that's the one it's going to teleport me to when I do down forward 2. If I want to teleport to the older one, you have to do down forward back 2. So not back after you press 2, you have to do down forward and then back and then press 2. So I have 2 on the screen and I want to teleport to the older one. As you can see my inputs there, down forward back 2. And the way, this was a little confusing for me as well at first, but the way I find it's easy to remember it is you just press back as in back in time, and somehow that really helps me remember it. If I do the one that was placed a little long ago, that's further back in time, so I press back before I press the button for the input to go to the older portal. Cool. So now that's how we place the portals and what you can do with the portals, or how you activate them. Now let's talk about what you can do with them. So layer 1, or just the most important thing, is that when you teleport to them, you're actually in the air. So when I teleport to this portal, no matter where I am, even if it's placed on the ground, I will be in the air for a bit, so I can do air attacks, jump kicks, jump punches. And this is, is really cool, because then you can do stuff like this, and that all combos from that really low jump that you teleported to the portal from. So that is a really scary thing, and that's kind of the main threat of the portals. And so yeah, that's what we're going to talk about now. Where are these useful, and how are you going to plan them? You can't just place the portal on the screen and then forget about it, and what's it useful for. The main thing that makes these powerful is placing a portal and then being on the other side of the enemy. Any other situation is really not that good. They kind of showed off in the Kombat cast that, like, if you place a portal back here, like, while you're zoning, and then I get in and I'm doing some combos or pressure and stuff, I can teleport it to kind of get out, but it's really slow and doesn't build you that much distance. That I think that's a non-factor. That is not a useful or cool thing to do. So honestly, if the portal isn't behind or on the opponent, it's not useful. Don't think about it. Just wait until you're in a better situation. So, if I am behind the opponent, when I have a portal on the screen, it becomes a lot more useful because, say, this Rain is like a rushdown character, or they're trying to like walk me down. You know, I'm a zoner, so they're going to be doing some footsie stuff, trying to walk in, chase me down, reach with some big buttons, chase me, like, rush me to the corner, you know? That's how people rush down. So if I have like a portal over here, and pretend I'm like running away from this guy, jumping back and stuff, and then I'm getting close to the corner, that's when the portal is useful. When it side switches you out of the corner and actually gives you a significant change in distance, that's when the teleport is useful. That's when it's a useful mobility option. Only when it's on the other side of the opponent and it gets you out of the corner. Now, that's it as a movement tool, but can also be useful as a pressure tool. And this can be either when it's behind the opponent, or even better if it's more on the opponent. But behind the opponent is better than in front of the opponent, because if you do something like this, if you teleport to it, you're never going to be close enough to do it if it's not behind them. But if I do have the portal behind them, wait, so if I like just place it here, and I've done something to switch to the other side, if it's behind them, there's a good chance that they'll be on it after I press a few buttons. So behind them is good. Now, when the portal's close to them or behind them, just like we mentioned there, you can kind of use it for pressure. If you do some kind of thing and they're not expecting you to, like if I go for my overhead here, and they're expecting to block that thing, and then I'm kind of switching to the other side and then going for another overhead from the jump in, it is technically slow, but it can be, you know, a lot to process for someone and they might not be ready for it. You can even use it on Oki. For stuff like this, safe jumps don't really exist in MK, but that's a safe jump. You're so close to the ground that people's armor attacks are not going to hit you if you just do the jump attack and then block. So you can hit them, and if you are fast enough and they have a slightly slower jump attack, then your jump in and a poke afterwards will beat their armor, because the two hits will be so close to each other that you'll go straight through some slightly slower armor attacks. So it's good. It lets you go for better pressure, even if the opponent is blocking. Because then you can go for gimmicky stuff like this. And it also lets you go for better Oki if it's anywhere in the vicinity behind them, because any kind of knockdown you get now leads to... Hello? Potential for stuff like this, which is really good. So generally, when there's a portal on the other side of the opponent, you get some great movement with side switches, you get some gimmicky, like, on-block pressure offense, and you get some really good Oki off of your knockdowns. Now, the question is, how do you get these portals in a good position? And unfortunately, there's not much in Rain's toolkit that really accommodates this. You can't get many dash under or jump overs in his combos, so your cameos are going to be the ones that help you achieve this side switches. Without a cameos, basically your best options are, like, if you ever are near the opponent, then you just want to make sure you use back throws. Because once you've back thrown, they're going to be right beside the portal, and you can do some zoning and then teleport to the portal. So back throw is a good option, or you can get some well-timed stuff here. If you do like a wave dash under there, and you can get a very pathetic combo, but it's pretty hard without cameos. So a cameo like Motaro or Kung Lao could be a very obvious, easy example, because you can just place a portal, be doing your zoning and stuff, and just decide to teleport to the other side, and then you'll be behind the opponent, and then you can do whatever you want. And because you're on the other side of them, you automatically get a behind portal, and that's really cool. But there are other cameos, like the infamous Cyrax, that also can help you get side switches in your combos. So Cyrax can do things like this, even after just down 2. Switches to the other side, so now every time I get a down 2, which happens pretty often, because I just have a really good down 2 as Rain. Now the portal is behind the opponent, just because I got an anti-air. Pretty good. And there's a few other examples of how Cyrax, his weird helicopter stuff, really lets you get some strange side switches, like... And usually you can like set up that. But it's a bit gimmicky. But a lot of the things you do can, if timed correctly and labbed, will lead to side switches like that launch. And we talked about down 2 launch. You can very easily go into side switches with Cyrax. As you can see, Cyrax's net is such a long stun that even from practically full screen, you can dash in and switch to the other side and then still get your combo. So if I had a portal placed there for my zoning, even without wave dashing, I can just dash in and boom, the portal is right beside the opponent because I switched to the other side thanks to Cyrax's amazingly long stun off of this if it happens to hit the opponent. So as you can see, things can go very pear-shaped for the opponent if you manage to get any kind of Cyrax or long stun that lets you switch to the other side and then go for some crazy portal pressure. Anyways, I hope this video helped you understand Rain's portal mechanic a little bit better and you try using them out yourself. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next one. Bye-bye.